Welcome everyone to the PYRESWAP show. Some exciting news to break today. Couple things happened that you guys might care to be interested in. Let me make sure that my whiteboard is fully on screen. I met with a guy named Yabonks yesterday. Have you guys heard of Yabonks? Yabonks did a gigantic research on PYRESWAP back in June, I want to say, May and June, and he did a video that has 40,000 views. And I met with him yesterday in person in Austin. And while I was meeting with him, I was literally in the middle of distributing stickers around certain tech campuses and other places like that. And he basically told me that virtually all of my approaches to this are correct, if that makes sense. He basically said that if 40,000 people have seen the video that he made, that means that 40,000 people only need to hear about the project 11 more times before they buy. Does that make sense? So again, the concept of marketing, it's still just not like single touch. Like that's just not how it does. That's just not how it works. Like it's, yeah, the belief that that's what it does. I think that's what somebody who's watching it from the sidelines thinks it works. But yeah, no, it's more about, and he explained it to me, that I need to continue targeting small YouTubers and building that list. For those of you who don't know, we're working on building a list of small YouTubers because it's from them that you get big YouTubers anyway. So like the whole goal that I have of getting like coverage by, I don't know, 50 to 100 small YouTubers, like that is definitely going to be what moves the needle more so than some large splash. So based on that information, everything we're doing is correct. Yeah, everything we're doing is correct. Additionally, today, or should I say within the next 24 hours, we will be moving from a 3% daily expansion rate to a 1.75% daily expansion rate. This might be implemented already. It might be implemented, I don't know, tomorrow morning. I'm not really sure the exact minute it'll get implemented, but it'll get implemented soon. And we'll be here for about a week before we taper it again until 1%. It's my intention to stay at 1% for the rest of Genesis. If we need to, we can probably taper it again below 1%, but I don't really want to do that. I think 1%. Pega probably will just keep gratuity where it is. Yeah, we'll probably just keep gratuity where it is. Yeah. So think of it this way. If we have a 5% gratuity right now and we go from 3% to 1.75%, this is like being reduced to a 3% gratuity. Does that make sense? Right? So it's like you have a 40% reduction there, and if we do it again and we go down to 1%, it's still probably like we have a 2% gratuity. So when we get to 1%, maybe we'll increase the gratuity, but I don't really know if we need to. I think 5% is plenty. And you know, the increase of the gratuity also is a reduction in emissions, if that makes sense. Like, so the gratuity like literally feeds off of the emissions before they get distributed. So I think we'll keep gratuity where it is. I don't see a reason to reduce gratuity. If anything, again, we're going to work on the actual building of the user base and the decks to the point that more of the incantation comes from a volume. Does that make sense? So we'll just have more, like the goal here is to make it all real yield and not like real yield boosted with fake yield. Yeah. But that's what I mean. I'm not trying to reduce it. I'm not reducing it or increasing it. I think we're just going to leave the gratuity where it is as we taper emissions. Now, as far as making both the Genesis pools, the farms, and the Incantation Witch Vault more appealing, we're just going to do our job of increasing the user base. Does that make sense? Like literally, like, yeah, we're just going to focus on that. That's like everything else. If we get down to 1%, it should literally be like a flat price chart with potential upticks and uptrends here and there. Does that make sense? Like literally, it will effectively fulfill the appearance of the reversal point in the chart. Does that make sense? Like everybody who's a chart watcher, they're going to look at it and be like, oh yeah, okay, this right here is going to be possibly where it breaks out. And as all the chart watchers are doing this, what am I doing in the background, Pega? Right? I am in fact getting marketing and content going all the time. So they are stochastically and perhaps quietly compounding in the background. So while the chart kind of like flattens, we will on the other side be about raising awareness. Does that make sense? So as we raise awareness, more and more people who are looking at the chart, they also are going to be looking at a chart that looks more and more like there's a potential breakout. Does that make sense? And then all you got to do is just keep doing that, and then eventually you do have a breakout. Does that make sense? Like literally just flatten the chart, right? Flatten the chart, and then effectively then just do marketing. Does that make sense? So we have to have a Genesis event, like we are a DEX, but we can also make it not exactly like full degen. You know, a lot of DEXs in their farms, they're not necessarily blasting off 1,000% APR, right? They're kind of like a tamer APR. That's more like they're just boosting pools. Yeah. So while they're still incredibly lucrative to be in those pools, the APR is going to end up getting dominated by the price action. So when the price starts moving up, that's when the APR will start going up by itself. If that makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the APR in a Genesis pool, it is measuring the token quantity times the dollar price. Does that make sense? Against the dollar price of your liquidity position. Does that make sense? Or the entirety of the liquidity in that Genesis pool. Does that make sense? So if we're going to reduce the quantity, it's going to reduce APR. However, the goal here is that once we start increasing price, APR will start going up again. Does that make sense to everybody? Because APR uses the dollar numeraire. At least it does in farms. Okay. So additionally, there will not be a PYRESWAP show tomorrow. So the PYRESWAP show tomorrow is canceled. That is just for scheduling conflicts, and we'll be back on Tuesday. But yeah, tomorrow it's canceled. By the way, Yabonks will be guest starring on the PYRESWAP show sometime in the next 2 weeks. So we will have a guest on the PYRESWAP show. Isn't that exciting? In person. He'll be on this set. Are you guys excited? Yes, exactly. Rocket ship emoji is exactly it. Fantastic. Thank you with that gift support, Mr. Producer. Anyways, yeah. I want to think about what else. Yeah, so literally, we're reducing the emissions. We're going to make them less degen. We're going to flatten the chart. And then we're just going to effectively scale up all marketing and content. I noticed that the way that this gets live streamed, it could get improved to the point that it's able to actually post them as recordings. So we're going to work on having that happen. We're going to get to streaming on multiple platforms, and then we're also just going to get increase of awareness happening all the time. So literally the initial awareness campaigns, we need to effectively create a chain reaction of awareness building. So let's say somebody scans a sticker. By the way, I actually have another sticker that we are actually, I was deploying stickers yesterday, and I realized that these stickers could even be complemented by another sticker. And I realized that there was a lot of other stickers that I was looking at. There's a lot of other stickers I was looking at as I was campaigning with stickers, right? So I was placing stickers in a bunch of different areas in Texas. Anyways, so I realized that the one sticker that we have, while I guess you could say it's to the point and it's unique looking and it has a buzz phrase, it isn't necessarily as brain dead as we could go. So this right here, the sticker that you see perhaps on screen and in Discord right now, we're also going to be getting this Discord. Literally, it just says decentralized finance. It just shouts that with the DE and the FI in yellow. Believe it or not, the colors of this is actually neon. It doesn't look like neon on Discord, but on the sticker, it's like a gloss. Does that make sense? It's a reflective gloss. And by the way, if you guys can't tell, the QR code is the exact same that you see right there next to PYRESWAP.com in my little picture-in-picture. Does that make sense? So I have 1,000 of these coming, and going forward, we're gonna put this sticker up right next to the other sticker. Does that make sense? So it's a 2-sticker campaign. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Because some people might gravitate towards this one, and some people might gravitate towards that one. But whenever we actually get eyeballs, the fact that we are actually multiple stickers on a signpost, multiple stickers on a light post, multiple stickers in an elevator shaft. By the way, yesterday I did elevators in a place that probably doesn't want you to put stickers in their elevators. Let's put it that way. And yeah, anyways, anywhere that like pedestrian traffic has to look. Does that make sense? So I think elevator shaft, like elevators like on the button panel, like that's definitely where I want to hit, if that makes sense. Yeah, more on that later. Anyways, so I have 1,000 of these coming in, and I'm going to be blasting these stickers around all over where I drop stickers. I'll probably also have these stickers done on Wall Street. Does that make sense? Because it just gets to the point, and it's like, if anybody ever sees this sticker and they've heard the word decentralized finance or DeFi, they're either going to become curious or they're not. Does that make sense? I think that like the sticker before with like the highest real yield, while arguably like is great for like an advertisement as it were, I don't think it's as like just, I don't think it's as dumb as it could be. Does that make sense, everybody? I think when you're doing awareness, it's about making your message as dumb and as loud as possible. Does that make sense to you guys? So while I was deploying these stickers, I realized the thing you really need to stand out from the other stickers is to look like a goddamn roadwork sign, like a construction sign, right? Like a warning. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And arguably, us using warning signs is right in line with the PYRESWAP brand. Wouldn't you guys agree? Danger. This is a witch fault. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyways, yeah, so literally this sticker, by the way, is about 6 inches by 3 inches. For those of you in metric, that's like 15 centimeters by 8 centimeters. Does that make sense? This orange one? Yes, this is a gigantic, obnoxious sticker. Okay? So it's, I think this would probably be like, I don't know, probably not, maybe not that big, but like, yeah, about the size of maybe your hand. I don't know how large your hands are, but again, it's maybe a little bit smaller than my hand. Anyways, yeah. We're also going to use the other stickers because they are the good-looking ones, of course. And I think the fact that we can have multiple stickers in a certain area, I think that increases our chance. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. Anyways, let's see. We have the final sponsored AVAX talk on Tuesday. And we have maybe some more exciting stuff coming up this week as well. I don't even know what to talk about. I feel like I just blasted off all these announcements. Again, Yabonks met with him yesterday, spoke with him for about 2 hours. Literally, if we weren't talking about PYRESWAP, we were talking about like diet and like nootropics and stuff, or nootropics, however you pronounce it. And basically speaking, yeah, he's gonna come on the PYRESWAP show. So he's going to, you know, either guest or co-host or however you want to describe it. And that will be sometime in the next 2 weeks. We don't have a date set for that. And yeah, everything else about the approach, it's not going to be big splashes that make the chart big splash. I know that's how everyone thinks it works, but it's going to be a whole bunch of small things happening simultaneously that kind of excite off of each other. So I don't know if you guys noticed this, but since, yeah, we have a significant membership uptick since we've been blasting on Twitter. I see more and more accounts are engaging with our Twitter account too. Did you guys know that? Like, so our Twitter account, we have new people learning about it all the time. In fact, anyways, yeah. Damn, did you guys want to talk about anything else? Did you guys have questions about finance? I could just do a demonstration of the incantation today. Yeah, probably couldn't hurt. Do it on Sundays. So anybody who's new and they haven't seen the incantation witch vault done today, we will in fact do that. Let me in fact verify that I have. Okay, we do in fact hold token. So we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. Oh, we now have Rabbi on this computer? Or maybe we did before.
It's not set up yet.
Okay. Yeah, I probably shouldn't punch in a recovery phrase on the stream.
Yeah.
Probably a bad look. Yeah, okay, we'll just use MetaMask. Okay. Our penetration test continues. Yeah. So our by the way, if you guys don't know, our penetration test is being done. First of all, how great is it to always see that there's a passive amount staked? That's way too fucking high. There's only so much you can do here. There's only so much you can do here. You know, how crazy is it? That's how much is staked, and EPR is still 24%. It really is. Anyways. Our penetration test continues. Our penetration test is being conducted by somebody who is in the Guinness Book of World Records for a skill adjacent to their white hatness. More on that later. I don't know what else to say other than more on that later there. Damn. Anyways, from the conversation yesterday with your bonks, it was great. Yeah, I appreciate the fact that I'm sitting and standing. I think it's okay if I sit down. I don't need to be zoomed in necessarily, but I'll do it for the IWV actually. But yeah, the goal again with marketing is if people hear about your project and it's like a single vector, like that can get convincing through repetition. But people get more and more convinced if they have multi-vector approaches. So Yabonk was actually telling me about a project that did the exact same thing. They were using stickers and they were using billboards, not because they expected to convert off the stickers and billboards, but because they could effectively put pictures of this on the internet. So there was projects before, they would sponsor like a Formula One car. Have you guys seen this before? Yeah. And they do that not because they expect to convert people at the show. They're going to convert people who see that they're on a Formula One car on the internet. Everyone follow me there? Fantastic. So, effectively, when it goes back to vectors, like if people learn about this from stickers, and I learned about it from Twitter, and then learn about it from YouTube. You know, what Yabonks was telling me is that if his video got 40,000 views, like all of those people, when they watched it, the next course of action they wanted is they wanted to go and find another video about PYRESWAP. Does that make sense? Because that's crazy, see? I believe that. I believe that. Yeah. So, effectively, the right thing to do with YouTube, how he explained it to me is, you want tons and tons of YouTube videos about PYRESWAP. The reason is because every YouTube video gets auto-transcribed in the background. Does that make sense? So whatever words you use in the background, it gets stored as metadata. So the name PYRESWAP, let's say if PYRESWAP shows up in enough crypto videos, YouTube ends up thinking that people who are searching for crypto want to learn about PYRESWAP. Does that make sense to you guys? So what you want to do is you want to flood YouTube's algorithm with videos about PYRESWAP and have a whole bunch of smaller people do it. Yabonks was also telling me that he has 160,000 subscribers now, but he was saying that like there was certain contexts when he had less than 5,000 subscribers and he was able to make more money. Does that make sense? Because what he's saying is smaller YouTubers, their entire community is engaged. Does that make sense? Like anybody who has like less than 5,000 subs, their entire community is engaged. It's not like somebody who has 500,000 subs and like half of them are bots, a quarter of them don't speak the same language. Oh, by the way, Yabonks told me that he has a large Turkish fan base as well. And it's possible that we have a large Turkish fan base because of Yabonks' video. Did you guys know that? Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, not just stickers, Twitter, and YouTube, but literally like, you know, Billboard, Reddit, fucking TikTok. I'm gonna go through the fucking list. But effectively speaking, like, even skeptics and people who don't know what the fuck is going on, which is probably going to be the majority of people, they will convert if they hear about a project from enough sources. Does that make sense? So, like, the majority of stuff about that is Twitter right now. The majority of stuff about that is Twitter. But then you want all the ancillary sources to be able to reinforce the messaging you're seeing on Twitter. I hope that makes sense, right? So if people learn about the product through a sticker, right, and they go through our homepage, our landing page, and they either come join the Discord or they go join the Twitter, they're gonna see the Twitter and they're gonna see the Discord being alive. Does that make sense? As we begin ramping these things up to actually begin gathering eyeballs over time, we're also flattening our price chart. Does everybody follow me? Flattening our price chart by tapering our emissions will make the number go up because we're also shoring up marketing ridiculously in the background. It takes a lot of time to build these things to be automated, but once they're set up, again, yeah, like they're just constantly gathering attention. I hope it makes sense. Like we're not just gonna have a marketing phase. We're just always having marketing now. There's more stuff in this list. I haven't written down in, of course, a more strategic notebook, but I figured I would at least share it with you guys, and I'm hoping you guys can read it. Mostly? Yeah, okay. So, by the way, there's a new type of content. There's a new type of content out, and they literally take audiobooks and they turn them into whiteboard presentations. Did you guys know that? Supposedly an AI can do this. Did you guys know that? There's a new type of content coming out. It's like, instead of listening to an audiobook, you can in fact watch an audiobook. Does that make sense? And like whatever the book is talking about, it will just give you like images and diagrams to explain what's in the sentence. Or whatever the fuck it's talking about. Does that make sense? Did you guys know this? Anyways, well, you know it now. Yeah, exactly. I don't know exactly our ability to implement it, but I think that there's a whole bunch of, for those of you who don't know, there's a whole bunch of audio recordings of me. Did you guys know that? There's a whole bunch of audio recordings. Like hundreds of hours of audio recordings. Is everybody aware of this? So one of the ways that those audio recordings can get turned into like videos that are perhaps more engaging is through this type of AI. Does everyone make sense? And that's just another new type of content vector that can be explored. Whisper, I believe you posted that pre-translation. But I appreciate the bullish sentiment. Yeah. Yep. By the way, yes, we will be getting a Turkish Twitter account. It's the right move. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, and then having two PYRESWAP Twitter accounts is also just a great move. Does that make sense to you guys? Like literally, it's just two different vectors, and like I'm saying here, you know, you know how we have 2 different stickers? Does everyone understand that we're like expanding to a 2 different stickers thing? Right? 2 different Twitter accounts, it's the same concept. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's just more eyeballs all the time, more content being generated. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's just more and more chaos in the background. Just more slight things. You know, whether you're a Turkish speaker or whether you're an English speaker, when it's time to look at a price chart, you're gonna interpret it the same way. When it's time to look at Discord, you're gonna look at it the exact same way. Do you get what I'm saying? Oh shit, we got 2 minutes. So I'm now going to prepare to actually play on camera the incantation. So, yep, I'm down here, that's fine. So anyways, we're here around the 2 minute mark. Yep, exactly that, Manny. Yep, drum roll, please. We're here on the 2 minute mark, and I think a lot of people have some misconceptions about how this works and why I keep talking about scaling the user base as the goal. So people say that, like, you know, if the yield isn't high enough, the money isn't high enough, and therefore you're not burning enough. Or if the player count isn't high enough, then you're not burning enough. And it's like, oh, but it's all proportional all at the same time. And it's like, the fact of the matter is, on our path to bring all the numbers up, meaning the Tomb Fork numbers, the PYRESWAP tokens, bring all those numbers up, every single one of those things happens, gains in one of those areas as long as our user base is growing. Because as our user base is growing, we are trying to saturate this game. We are trying to make this, like, this is the sure money. This is the sure money. Everything is speculative. Does that make sense? So this game getting saturated, like truly crowded, is what awakens the speculative additional ways to make money, or should I say the derivative ways to make money from the incantation. So this bag, this demo wallet, has about 265.6 Pyre Phantom. I am going to try this new method out where I literally don't even stake until I see this at maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds. So what I'll do is I will prop this up and I'll pull this up. And I can see the time ticking down. We've got 25 seconds. I click the max button. I'm staking my whole bag. Lots of people are staking their whole bag these days. In the future, that might not be the case. I'm going to wait until the 5 second mark just to see what happens. Come on, MetaMask, work. Come on, MetaMask, you can do it. And that's literally zeroed out. I have no idea if my transaction went through. We'll find out, because if Pyre Phantom stakes, then my transaction went through. If it didn't, that means that, well, I guess we'll find out. Oh, look at that. It still shows a balance, but that might change. Unclear. I do see this number changing. I see 0.93. I see 194,000 has moved. Did I get blocked? Was that too late? Let's find out. Look at that, you guys. The usurping guard. The usurping guard locked me out. So apparently 5 seconds is too early for MetaMask. It's unfortunate, yeah. Cucked by MetaMask. Truly. Truly. See, yes, however, right now there is a usurping guard, meaning in the new epoch, people can't get in. Does that make sense? So right down here, and I'll show you that here. Usurping guard is enabled for training and tutorial purposes. Please wait 600 seconds before usurping. What that means, usurping, for those of you who don't know, is when you effectively, yep, I believe it too, Abolito, yeah. I was out with 5, I had 5 seconds and I missed it. I guess next time I'll try for 10 seconds. I'll eventually dial it in. But yeah, yeah, that's probably it. Probably getting MetaMask open beforehand and then shooting it from there. Yeah, I was trying to do it to the UI. Exactly. But in the first, after the transpar epoch happens, yeah, after transpire epoch happens, like after it registers C, there's 600 seconds, which is about 10 minutes. For those of you who don't understand, 600 seconds is 10 minutes. I'll write that down for you guys. There is a 10-minute window where you cannot stake. You can't stake. So for any purpose at all, you can't stake. But here's what's funny. Cynical did it again. Here's what's funny is that there is a usurping window here. Yeah. There is a usurping window here. Do you guys see it? Because whoever this person is with 39,000 in there, they were still, I don't know, I don't want to say 10%, but they were 4% of the pool. Does that make sense to you guys? So 4% of the reward is still in there. Do you guys get it? A little under 4%. So what was the I don't even know what the bag was before. But yeah. 4%. Electronic is apparently licensing out his bot in the chat. And by the way, as far as the people that are botting right now, because I know about 2 or 3, the way to get the botting to stop working, so to speak, is you bring the price back to the meeting line. Does that make sense? Right now, botting seems to be efficacious because not all risk factors are really in play. Does that make sense? You guys get it? So in order to make bots start failing more often, you have to increase the amount of risk in the game itself, which, by the way, also increases the reward. In order to do that, we need to bring the Velvet Rope pattern back, and we also need to bring the Pyre Phantom token closer to the prices, or should I say closer to the TWAPs of 2-ohm, 3-ohm, and Z-ohm. Does that make sense? It's because when you have to think about the Velvet Rope pattern and whether or not meetings taking place, this begins to disrupt botting strategies when Pyre Phantom is shielded. Does that make sense? A lot of people, yeah, there was like a larger average yield. There was decay back then as well, but like there was like you would be above 1% more often in the earliest parts of open beta, like in February and March. Oh, yeah, no, Maddie, yeah. That might it might be sooner than you realize. Yeah, sooner than you realize. But I appreciate your patience. Anyways, that's the first time that I've been thwarted by the usurping guard myself. So good to see that it works. Yeah, test completed satisfactory. I have no complaints there. Again, tomorrow the PYRESWAP show is canceled. There's no PYRESWAP show tomorrow. We will be back on Tuesday. I will be making an announcement on Discord, which gets routed to Telegram, of the emission rate changing. Hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? No questions? Anybody on Twitter have questions? I don't have a way to check Twitter. I'm still figuring out what we need to do to get more versions of the chat on my eyeballs so I can look at more chats at the same time. More on it later, I guess. Yeah, Jeff, that's probably it. More monitors. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount them to the fucking ceiling. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I need. Literally, that's the dream right there. That's the vision. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming to the PYRESWAP show. See you guys on Tuesday.